So a quick chat now about bait approach. Now we're coming up to mid-autumn, and believe me, it won't be long before we're into December and January, round about the end of November, mid-November really. It slows really down, to be honest with you. So mid-November through to about February is a time when I don't use much bait. All I do is I'll still use a kilo, but it will be used in a way that it's more about smell than it is anything else. It's about getting plenty of smell out where you're fishing. The way that I'm fishing meadows now is a winter tactic as far as I'm concerned. You're fishing a soup with little food items in it that will get them feeding. But and then I will fish a pop up over the top of that I know that I've got a lot of confidence in. Pop up wise, colour wise, it's the colour is all down to personal preference. But I've got three colours that I fish. Now I ain't gonna say what colours I fish because I'm not. But it's a personal preference. So, but it's a. So what I'm saying is, you can still feed them, Don't think, oh, it's winter. I'm gonna go fishing for 48 hours, and I'm gonna fish singles. Now, I think by doing that, you are really putting the odds against you to start with. You might as well stay at home. Don't bother. Fish a really highly attractive stick with that bait. And when I'm saying a stick, I mean like twice the size. A nice little PVA sticks. They're so long, by that long. Bait pull into it, and then out you go with it. Most of the time, you can fish a bottom bait in winter. We use dyed bag, or you can fish a wafter on an helicopter rig and put a PVA stick on that. As long as you put a little PVA nugget around it, and then into a funnel web, and then keep doing it. So if you still mast, but it's inside that. When it bursts apart, your popper pulse will come back up, and then it'll rest down slowly after a while. Now it will rest away from that PVA stick, but that don't make no difference. It's still about attraction, and it's the reason that I'm going on so much about soups. Soups are really important for the reason of you putting the attraction in water it's full of smell, and believe me, if a carp don't want to feed, it's pretty hard to get them to feed. But you can trigger them sometimes into feeding. They'll drop down and they'll have a bit, and they're you can trigger some of them into pretty swift. There's 5 fish, there'll be one of them that'll have a go. And if you buy having an attractive upbait on, you are always gonna have better odds. You see, a lot of people that I watch on telly, big names, they all say that the baits cleared out and your baits took last. Now that is the total opposite of what I've watched, and I've watched a lot of carp feeding from up trees and in margin closing and everything. And believe it or not, every single time I've ever watched them, it's never ever the last bait to get took is your up bait. Never, because the upbaits I make are always well more attractive than the baits you're feeding are really attractive. The baits that I do are probably as attractive as the pop-ups you're buying. As smell wise, they're as strong as the pop-ups you're buying. They really are full of flavour and full of goodness. So, but as winter comes on, now this is a new one from me. I saw the day that an angler were doing really well on crab and pineapple. So I thought it might be worth thinking about that. So now the KBS I do that he had intense sweetener to that. It levels it out, and I really do love that bait. It's getting used a lot through winter. But these are what I'm going to be using on water meadow. And the little 16 millis. Well, they've probably gone to about 15s now. of tuna, the tuna, pineapple, and they have absolutely got a heap of amino in and a bit of butyric acid. But as smell wise, you get in the pineapple more than anything. It will always overpower anything. Will pineapple and tutti frutti, but you are definitely still getting that tuna in background. Now I'm thinking that we've all seen Coda Part 5, but the way they react to pink, and I've watched them myself. They absolutely, it's like they love it. They love the colour pink. So I'm thinking by fishing one of them over that soup with a little bit of maize in it, a bit of mixed seed, not much, tiny bit. I think it's going to do the business. Now one rod's getting put on that, the other two rods are getting put on their the normal baiting approach I do. But I'm talking here about the KBS approach. This is going to be the bait for over at KBS. Over the pineapple and butyric acid ones, I'm going to be fishing match.It pineapple and butyric, but I will probably be fishing them in a different colour. I always like to mix the colours up. If I'm fishing with a soup that's brown, I will fish with a white bait and say a yellow bait, or pretty much any colour that's not the same colour as the soup. It's the same. If you put 25 red balloons in a room, and I've actually did this other day on garden. I put about 20 blue balloons on garden the other day when kids had party, and they were one red un. Which one do you think they all went for? Red un. Now I'm 100% convinced it's the same with anything. Anything that's different, they will go for. And animals are the same. Now these are probably. There's probably the same amount of smell in this as what there is in the actual bottom base, but I'm thinking with that little tuna in it, I can have the bait drop onto the pineapple and butyric acid, and then it drifts off that spot. I may not catch it over that spot, but then it drifts over the KBS, and it's getting that still getting that pineapple smell. So it's thinking. It may be thinking like that there's still pineapple within that, but it's also giving it honestly, I'm not joking to you. If the tuna bait I rolled over there, that tuna bellicam, the KBS but with tuna in, it is an absolute unbelievable bait. And next March, I ain't joking to you, mate. You watch the results of that bait. It is going to absolutely kill it. When you just everything about it is when you break the baits open, there's big flakes of tuna in it. There's a tin of tuna in every kilo. It is gonna be dearer though. It is definitely gonna be dearer. It's gonna be probably not much. It'll probably work out about. It might end up being about 8 or 9 quid a kilo. But take my word for it. I ain't joking to you. You watch the results on that bait next year. It 100% out and out freezer bait. Unless you want the similar bait doing, I can do you. The KBS, but without the tuna, but with the tuna smell as a shelf life. I've got tuna flavour. I can always do you that, but believe me, it will not have the same effect as flake tuna. Carp love tuna. Tuna, sardine, and salmon. Carp love it. I used to fish it all the time just as PVA stick with a little bit of fake corn as a hook bait in the middle. And it weren't a corn they were going for. They sucked the complete stick up, and it was just the reaction of they felt something sharp, went to blow the corn out, and I nailed them at bottom lip with that. But they was not taking it for the corn. They were taking it for the tuna. Carp love tuna. In brine, but squeeze most at brine out. If you are making your own baits, try and squeeze most of the brine out this time. You don't want much salt in it, and it's not that much salt anyway in one tin of tuna, let's face it. Better squeeze that out. I wouldn't advise using them. It come round about May time. April, May, then it'll be tuna in oil. But next year that bait is getting tested to the full, and I'm going to do it all myself. I'm going to test it all myself. So all the results you see next year is going to be off that bait, and all the results you see this year on the river and from my carp fishing are going to be pretty much from over that KBS. I'm going to put a rod on that KBS while I'm down at Watermead, and I'd be stupid to put 2 rods over that KBS for the simple reason of it's a long way to go, and it's costing a fair bit to get there. I had to buy all sorts, no leg cut, it's cost me a fortune, seriously. So I had a bit of rant at Steve the other day. It's just I'd put everything in I'm a bit OCD on stuff, and I'd sorted everything out, so everything went into a certain thing and everything was sorted. As far as I'm concerned, the only thing that needed doing was tackling car, and we were off. And then all of a sudden it changed, and that's why I had a bit of a rant at him, but that's another story. He's not going, he says, anyway, so it don't make a difference to me if he goes or not. Richard's still going, so, and if Richard didn't go, I will be honest with you, I'd be fucking on that bank on me own. It makes no odds to me whatsoever. But yeah, guys, it's gonna be very interesting to see what these do, because I have a funny feeling with the mix of the flavour, they're both really subtle. This one here, in the tubs that I'm going to start selling, these kind of baits, these two here, are the baits that I take out and I use myself because I chop them down a lot, but they won't be getting sold. All the baits for sale will be like these ones here. But yeah, I have a good feeling about these, a real good feeling about these. And the other thing as well is now that I'm only doing 4 baits, I'm doing the KBS, which is dearer than others. It's dearer than others. It's a CC more bait, guys. Come on, you know what I mean. You know how much CC more is. It's a CC more bait. If I show it next time I roll KBS, I'll put all CC more stuff I use out on the table, and I'll show it you all. But I don't want to do that because then you know what I'm putting in it. But believe me, it is KBS is a CC more bait. So if you're paying 14 quid for a krill bait of CC more, or a tuna bait of CC more, you're pretty dumb, because it was pretty much everything I'm using is from CC more tuna and live system and all that. It's all in there at KBS, and it's absolutely deadly, and the other thing as well is it's been hard because I've been fishing it as a soup, which is something I always do this time of year, and it's something I do a lot in summer as well. I like to get a big carpet down, and believe me, when you're fishing a soup, when you're putting it in an edge, it doesn't look like you're putting any bait in. Take my word for it. If you were to look down into clear water onto an area that you've been spotting soup, it is completely covered in it. It goes, all bait goes kind of white, even brown bait goes kind of light whitey colour, and it absolutely coats the area that you've been spotting over. And it gets them feeding harder, gets them feeding a lot harder. But eventually, they always go from picking the crumb up to picking one of these up, and it's always normally one of those are bigger fish, and it's done out of competing. They're competing with each other, and eventually they start going for larger food items that are in there. Which in the soup there is whole boilers and all boilers in there. It's I rolled some round baits, and I was going to sell, but I'm going to take them down with me now. I'm going to fish with them. Fuck it. I think they're going to do well. So that's just a little insight into that. But during winter months, formats, no, we've not done. Formats ain't done. We're through winter. We're going out and out. Coat ball pop-ups, coat dust pop-ups, a mixture of coat dust and Polaris mix for those that are fishing those waters where bait's got to be out there for a long time. I've got a couple of German kids now that are really interested in their they want some of the bait. They want some of it, so that'll be interesting. But I'm definitely going that coat ball route with more so with the KBS, because I want the KBS as an up bait, as a pop up, and the only way I can do it is with coat dust, so, or coat balls. So I'm going to get some coat balls and coat dust, and KBS will be available soon in pop up and wafters, so you'll be able to fish them. And with a little PVA stick through winter, guys, it'll be deadly. Take my word for it. Right, let's see you later.